One of my clients recently visited a dentist and she came back from there thinking that she had cancer. A small visit turned into something so serious for her. The doctor, while examining her face, or rather examining the inside part of her mouth, noticed a small white patch and simply mentioned it to her. No fancy stuff, no drama, just a simple look. There is a bit of a white patch. And the client ended up thinking that she had cancer. She walked out of there with the thought that she might have cancer. This is how anxiety, and more specifically health anxiety, escalates. And if you face the same thing, you know how fast this happens. Now, if you are a high performer who wants to do great things in life and you constantly feel that you are concerned and worried about something related to your health, you will relate to this. And I promise you and what I'm trying to say is, I promise you that by the end of this video, you will have a clear insight of what's really happening and how you can solve this. So let's understand the problem in place over here. What really is the cause of health anxiety? Number one, as part of the mechanics of health anxiety doesn't show up because of a fact. It shows up because of a trigger, a small feeling in the body, a small word by somebody else, a small thought. It all leads to a particular kind of wild thinking. And the mind has gotten trained to be able to easily indulge in such wild thinking. This is why health anxiety actually begins. Now here's what happens next. When that trigger happens, when you feel something slightly off with the body, you start thinking, oh, what really is this? Or let's talk about the specific dentist example. What did the dentist really mean? What is this white patch? My relative some time ago told me about a white patch which was actually cancerous. Is the same thing happening to me? This is the loop that one gets into after that trigger. And really it is this loop that is the cause of this extreme health anxiety. So let's take a step back. Let's understand a little bit about this internal dialogue. This is probably what happens with you also. You see and feel something and then you think, no, okay, maybe it's not that a big deal. A second later you think, maybe have I missed something? For example, in the same case that I told you earlier, did I miss something when the doctor was telling me this? Maybe I should check on this a little bit more. Next, you find yourself Googling. You Google the symptoms, you read all the worst case scenarios, and that's it. You're spiraling, you're thinking about all those things, and you're wondering, maybe I did miss something, maybe this is serious. So, if you are somebody who really wants to solve this now, who's not here just for some tips, save this video and come back to it later so that you can do this again and again, because I'm going to be sharing with you something which is part of the proprietary Bulletproofing happiness framework, which is used for all my clients across the globe to deal with not just health anxiety, any kind of anxiety that they're experiencing. So let's understand the solution now. First, let me paint a picture of what really is the cycle of this anxiety. So, number one, there is a particular trigger. That trigger leads to an interpretation. An interpretation leads to a certain kind of imagination. And it is that imagination or that wild thinking that eventually leads to a reaction or a feeling within us. And that reaction or feeling in this case is the extreme health anxiety. So you've understood what the trigger is. Let me quickly help you understand what does the interpretation mean. Interpretation essentially means that when trigger X occurs, your mind creates interpretation Y. So a small pain in the knee can mean like your entire knee bone is gone. That's an interpretation. Another interpretation is that it could just be a small niggle. So it's X that becomes Y is the second point. The third one is wild imagination, or however else you would like to think about it. That one particular Y turns into 1,000 things. What does this mean? What did the doctor say when he said this? Do I really have something? Oh, I'm really feeling it. It feels worse today. That's what this part is about. And then comes the final reaction, the health anxiety, which by that time is literally uncontrollable. So now that you know this, what is step 1 in overcoming this? Step 1 is literally recognizing when this pattern is playing out in your life. Because I'm going to share a secret with you at this moment. This pattern didn't develop in your life over one day. It slowly kept on growing, and one small cycle of this health anxiety took place, and then it was followed by another and another and another. And that particular pathway in your mind became so strong that it's really easy to just happen automatically now. So step number 1, really recognize when this pattern is taking place in your life. Grab a pen and pad, take some notes, because this is going to drastically change your life. Step number 2, once you've become a little more conscious of this pattern, you need to understand one secret. The mind, humanity's mind collectively has gotten unconsciously trained to literally focus on what's wrong versus what can be done about that particular issue. So to solve this, make a list. Jot down, in this situation, what are my controllables? What are my uncontrollables? Then slowly train yourself every single time to try and focus and bring your attention back to the controllables as often as possible. Remember, I shared with you some time ago that this didn't happen in one overnight. So the key is to practice again and again and again. And that's really where all my coaching frameworks and all my coaching methodologies are focused on. It's not about just understanding. It's about working with you to literally get down to the core of the issue and to solve it step by step by doing the practices again, by tweaking them so that it becomes a nearly permanent result for you. So now that you've understood this, let me help you understand why I really say that worrying is actually a joke. Because no amount of worrying and no amount of anxiety has actually really helped somebody solve something, get better. It's only escalating and growing that particular problem for you. So if you are somebody who wants to really imbibe this in their life, I invite you to comment down below, Reclaim Life, and me and my team will show you the exact next step of what you can do. Good day.